Hello everybody, it's Jay Roby. I'm going to do an overview of a software package that I've been using over the last little while, and it's called Aquarium, and it's a graphical interface designed specifically for the new Rybka 3 engine. Now, Rybka 3 by itself is the world's best computer engine currently, and it holds an ELO rating of 3150, and actually it just won another computer chess championship, so by itself Rybka 3 is amazing. But this interface here, Aquarium, was designed specifically for it, and it takes advantage of some of the new engine capabilities that Rybka 3 has. Now, I want to preface things by saying that one of the first things that caught my eye from this interface was that it's updated constantly. In fact, there's even official support forums specifically for it on rybkachess.com, and the developers have made massive amounts of updates already since its release a few months ago. And you know what? Not to mention, the developers actually welcome and ask for new ideas to incorporate into future patches of Aquarium, which is great and something I haven't seen before in a retail package. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I've tried some software packages before, and there's no forums or hardly any updates whatsoever. So when I saw that after I tried out their demo, I was extremely impressed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down what I like about the interface and how I use it to help my own chess development. I've had my hands on it now for a few weeks, and one of the things that I found about it is that it blends together a lot of the things that historically I used to have to use more than one program for. So hopefully you'll find some use out of this. Definitely I recommend to try out the demo. Go to rybkachess.com, and it's the Aquarium interface. You can, maybe what I'll do also is I'll put up a link for the demo on my blog to coincide with this video. You can access my blog by going to jrobychess.com, and there's a blog tab there. You can click on that and you'll have access to my blog. Now, I'm going to show you my favorite features of the program that I've found the most use for so far. And I'm going to start things off by talking about the interface. Now, the interface itself is known as a fluid interface, so all the options that you could possibly want to use the software application for are right in front of you. There's no pull-down menus that you have to go through to get certain tools of the software going. And I find that very useful. Now, one of my favorite features of the software package is the database and analysis function. So I'm going to click over to the database. Now, the database it opens up initially for me is my personal game database. So I have all my games in this database. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the reference database that comes with the software package, and it has over 3.5 million games. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Open, and it's going to open this huge database for me. And I'm going to get a little picky here. I'm going to search for a particular position. So up top, I just click on Search and Position, and I'm going to search for well, what the heck, we'll just do a King's Gambit accepted position here. So I'll move the bishop out to c4. I'm going to tell it that I want to search in huge base, and I'm going to click OK. And it's going to look at this huge database, and as you can see, it's already pulled up all the games in that massive database with that position, which is another thing that I like about this interface. It's very quick, which is very handy. Now I'm going to get a little picky. I'm going to search for more parameters. I'm going to say that I want the minimum year to be 2007, which it's set to, and I want the minimum ELO to be 2750. So it's going to apply this new search parameter to the games that it already found, and it's pulled up one game that took place in 2007, looks like August 13th. And I've got the game here if I want to flip through it and just kind of get an idea of what was played in the game. But I'm going to go and take this into a deeper analysis function of the software. By clicking up top, I'm going to take it to what's called as the Sandbox in Aquarium. And the Sandbox is where you can do a lot of cool things with your analysis. So as you can see here, I've got the game board showing on the left-hand side. I've got my notation on the right, and I've also got the opening trees on the bottom. So I can actually see what move has been played most often in the positions that the game is showing. It also tells me information like the openings that the moves are leading into and things like that, which I find very useful. Now I'm going to take it a step farther, and I'm going to click on Analyze on the upper left-hand side of the screen. And what this is going to do now is you'll see I've got Rybka 3 analyzing the position. I've got the tree on the right hand side, I've got my notation, and I've got my board. So I've got so much information right in front of me, and I hardly had to click anything to get there. And like I said before, this is one of the big things for me, is that it's very quick, and I can just get into doing my work. And that's always important for me. I don't like to be sitting around fumbling through file menus and things like that just to do simple tasks. So that alone I was very, very happy to see. So from this part of the program, I can do a lot more than what I've showed you so far. For example, I can click on Find Blunders up top. The engine will actually go through the entire game and try to find moves that it considers are blunders. I've also got interactive deep engine analysis function here, which I'll get to in a few minutes. But let's say I'm flipping through the game. I've got my engine going, and I come to a position where I'd like to see how a different move line would have went in the game according to Rybka's analysis. So I'm going to stop here, and I've got my engine analysis over here, and so far, even though it's only been thinking for a couple of seconds, it seems to think that knight to c3 is a great move to play in this position according to Rybka. Now, according to my tree, that's the fourth most popular option played in this position according to the database. But let's say I want to actually insert the Rybka 3 analysis line into the PGN. Well, all I have to do is just click Insert on the upper left-hand side, and it'll actually put the variation right into the PGN file. Now, I can save that for future reference. I can even make comments on that if I want to, all through the program. So that's very handy for me, and it's really handy when you're going through your own personal games too, especially the Find Blunders option. That's really great for finding things that you might have missed in your personal analysis. Because as many of you probably already know, finding your own mistakes can sometimes be challenging. If it's not a very apparent mistake or a very clear blunder, it might just be a small positional error that was made. The engine will pick up on that. So I find that very useful. Now, along with what I've talked about already, Aquarium comes with two really powerful analysis tools. One is infinite analysis, which is self-explanatory. You can infinitely analyze a position. But the other one is the interactive deep engine analysis tool, which you will only find in Aquarium. And it's a button up top here that I'm going to click. And basically, when I click this button, I'm going to have to stop analyzing on the lower left. It's going to open up a tree-like structure on the top of the screen. And you can let the engine sit for as long as you want to analyze a position and create a tree structure around that position. So in other words, it'll come up with the moves in that position. It'll tell you how deep it goes into the position and what kind of strength it associates with the move. One thing that I really liked about this is that you can actually have it stop looking at a particular move. So let's say, for example, I did not want to bother with analyzing the castle move in this position because I know I didn't want to play it. I can actually just go here and I can go bad move, and it will actually stop giving computer resources to that move, and instead we'll focus on deeply analyzing the other moves in the queue. Now you'll notice that it's a tree-like structure, and I can actually click on that and have it move, and it tells me how many positions deep it is. And as you can see, another move is added to the tree while I was talking. Now I could spend probably an hour talking about how cool this tool is and what you could do with it, but it's really something that you kind of got to play with and you got to kind of experience for yourself. But I just want to point out that it's a very powerful assistant to overall analysis, because you could really have the computer take a very deep look into a position, and you could even let it sit overnight and build a whole entire tree out of it. So it's very cool. Definitely recommend you check that one out. Now I'm going to go over to the engines area. And you can see here that the Engines tab actually lists all the installed engines in the software. And just like the other areas of the program, the interface is very easy to use. So you can add or remove your engines. You can set parameters for the engines if you want to. But it also comes with an Engine Competitions button where you can click on that, and you can actually set up a new match or a tournament or a randomizer match between the engines. And once the engines play their game, you can take that into the Sandbox and analyze it there. So really, the software itself has so many cool tools to it, and it would be impossible for me to cover them all in one video. But I just want this video to be more of a basic overview to the software, kind of an introduction, especially to the things that I found very useful. I spent the most time on the database and analysis parts of the program because that's what I use the most, including the Sandbox feature. And you can get your own database and your own PGNs in here and use all these tools to help with your analysis, and that's that's a pretty big thing. And like I said before, I can't emphasize this enough. My most favorite features of this program is just the fact that everything is right here in front of me, tool-wise. I don't have to go through any complicated menu systems to get things going. It's all right there, and I can just get at it. Now, that being said, this isn't an all-encompassing solution to your chess analysis and your chess research. Like there's dedicated database programs out there that do a lot of amazing things. But for just getting in there and doing some analysis, looking at some databases, doing some positional searches, this is very fast and very easy to use. So like I said, I definitely recommend you try it out. I'm going to put a link to the demo on my page, or you can go to rybkachess.com. The demo is also available in there in the Aquarium forum section. And if you do like the demo and you want to go with the retail package, I recommend going with the Deep Rybka 3 with Aquarium. It comes with the most perks, and also even if you don't have like a dual core or quad core processing computer, it'll still work on a single processor, and then when you upgrade your computer in the future, it'll start to take advantage of all that extra processing power that you have. So take care, hope you enjoy the video, and we'll see you next time.